Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.
Call yourselves Title Town? Are you kidding me?
That's fraud.
It feels like a gray area.
Spoiler alert, Canada. Cup's coming back to the US of A.
There's way too much negative stigma attached to strippers.
I hate you guys so much.
My dog just shit his ass.
Hey everybody, what is going on? It is Wednesday night. That means it is time for another edition of Craft Brewed Sports. I am Mike. With me, as always, is Scott. Scott, how you feeling tonight, man?
I was feeling good on Wednesday night, but I'm feeling better on this Thursday night, Mike. Thursday.
Right. It's not Wednesday.
Yeah, it is Thursday night, man, but I'm feeling okay. I've got this. I finally had to go to the doctor. Pain in my ass was it was getting to be too much. Finally got it diagnosed. I have Manfred. I have Manfred in my ass, and it's been diagnosed that I have the giant pain in my ass of Manfred.
How long do you have? How long were you given?
Just until the lockout ends, and then I'm probably going to die because that's the rule. So the good news is the Braves will forever be champions. The bad news is I've seen my last official pitch of Major League Baseball.
All right, well, good. Glad to hear that you're alive and well. We also have our own pain in the ass on this show. Mookie, how you doing?
Hi. Thanks for that, Dick.
That's the best transition intro ever.
I'm not necessarily going to disagree with it, but damn it, what did I do to you yet?
I watched Corner Booth tonight. I know what you did.
You watched Corner Booth, one of the best shows on all of Belly Up networks, and yet you couldn't be bothered to come on and make a guest appearance for, I don't know, 10 minutes?
No, because I was bathing my kids so that I could do our show, the one that we do.
Right.
The one that pays
right.
the not
Yeah. Yeah, you're bathing your kids and so busy with your family and like other things in life that you kept posting comments every 5 minutes, which meant you were clearly listening and watching along.
That's how you know Mookie doesn't have kids. That's how you know Mookie doesn't have kids, because he thinks like parents just put down their phones and like talk to their kids all the time. Like this is not how it works.
No. I'm not saying that. Like what I'm saying is,
also,
if you're trying to,
right.
now you're just gonna push me off stage. Fine, you know what? Fuck you, dude. Yeah, what are you gonna do about that mute, Mike?
Oh God,
little dick.
Yeah, I'm great. I love Thursdays. So.
What's up, Christian?
Thirsty Thursday.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, Thursdays are the best day of the week. Yeah, I'm fresh off a power hour. I didn't realize.
Yes,
of a power hour, but
wait, what power hour? What was it like? Did you have a theme, or was it just like a random?
It's the Wolf of Wall Street power hour. So every time there's a Wolf of what? Yeah, I'm serious. Every time there's a Wolf of Wall Street quote, you drink.
So can you send that to me, or like how do I do that?
I think he just told you. Like, what else is there to understand?
You watch the movie and you just drink with it? That's different. That's not a power hour.
No. If you literally Google Wolf of Wall Street power hour, the song, you figure out what to do real quick.
Well,
so,
get the lewds.
That's one of them.
I know it would have to be. That's my favorite line in the movie.
All right, auto completes after you type in
Mookie,
Wolf of Wall Street.
The show. We have a guest on tonight who
fuck you. I'm not the only one doing it now, Mike.
No, it's you. It's always you, Mookie. So we're gonna welcome to the show Parker Ainsworth. He's the head of the basketball department of Belly Up, host of Effin' Sports. Parker, what's going on, man?
Not much. That's quite an introduction.
Parker, this is why I told you in chat. I was like, give it like till 8:10 because it's gonna be a little bit.
Oh, and I'd say put the kids to bed. The scene's PG-13, but it sounds like we already have, so we're good.
Yes, man. Well, thanks for hanging out.
No, he only bathed them. He didn't put him to bed.
That's right. My wife puts him to bed on show nights, which is apparently Thursday this week, and I didn't realize. We got an awesome show. We're gonna make fun of LeBron in a little bit. That's why we brought Parker on. We got to talk LeBron and the Lakers. Christian, you want to give that face one more time?
We're not making fun of LeBron.
We're gonna make fun of LeBron.
And if you do, I'm there. So
We're gonna handle him. We're also gonna make fun of Derek Jeter a little bit later on. We're gonna make fun of the MLB. And we're gonna make fun of FIFA and probably EA Sports too. Listen, this is gonna be a hate fest. Like the haters ball is happening tonight. It's Scott's favorite night of the year. We're gonna just hate on everything.
How dare you? How dare you?
Let's talk about what we're
I
doing.
hate so much that you referenced that, but didn't have the hate drop queued up.
I just feel like Dave Chappelle is very litigious, and I didn't want to go down.
Fine, let him sue us, Mike. How could that be bad for our brand?
It'd be pretty bad for our money. Scott, what do
You
you
got no money.
tonight?
You ain't got nothing to take from us, bro. Like, come on.
I told you, milkshake IPA. The journey continues. Tonight I am drinking Imagination's Hyperspace. This is a mango milkshake, a New England style IPA with mango, all the milk lactose you can want, and I'm already like dig deep in this beer. This beer is fantastic.
You would bang the hell out of that beer.
This is mango. I don't think I've ever eaten an actual mango, but I enjoy a mango flavored thing. Wow. And this beer is so fucking
good, man.
I
All right,
feel really
good.
bad for you, Scott. I'm sorry, man.
Mookie,
you should try a mango.
I should. I just haven't.
Fair. I am drinking Pomegranate Smoothie by Dry Dock Brewing Company from Aurora, Colorado. Again, my buddy Evan, who guest starred on Corner Booth earlier tonight, asked me a while ago, why are you drinking so many beers from Colorado? Well, that's because like 6 to 8 weeks ago, Beer Drop was just going through on a Colorado breweries, and holy shit, man, this thing is amazing. It is fruity, it is smooth, it is flavorful. It's still got a solid punch because it's 5.2%. 3.7 caps on Untapped, which I don't quite understand why it's that low, but we'll see how it holds up. At this point in time right now, I'm taking this beer on a date out to La Rosa's because I'm a broke-ass college kid in this scenario, and I'm buying roses, I'm buying dessert, all of those things, and she's leaving me on red the next day when I say, hey, had a great time last night, can't wait to see you again, and I'm not giving up hope because she's just that good.
Christian, what are you drinking tonight, man?
Thank you.
That's rude.
I have Bud Lights again. At this point, it's gonna sound so bad. I'd probably fuck about anything, and I think that's gonna be the theme for the rest of my night. I think so.
This is gonna
Christian, you're in college. You can do that. This is the stage of the life where you are literally meant to fuck anything, because you got to figure out what you like, man.
Hey, Parker, I know you said you like stouts. What are you drinking tonight, man? Also, this comment from Kev really just puts it out there. I like how Parker, a teacher, joins absolute shit appearances.
Kevin,
welcome,
go
Parker.
do your other job.
Hold on a second. Wait, Parker, what do you teach?
I teach middle school history. So the show F in Sports is about, it's like F, like the letter F in sports, because I am a teacher, and then I also coach football and basketball. I also think
start with an F though.
No, but
shut up, Mookie. Shut up. Let the man speak.
But I will say, before I get into my beer too much, I like that comment from Kevin because I've been a guest on his show a couple times. Anyway.
I think he was referencing his own show.
Don't validate Kevin. Don't validate Kevin because he ditched his show today, yet has been commenting the whole fucking time. All right,
that's
Kevin.
a dedicated man. We can view this more than one way. I feel like Kevin's dedicated enough that even if he needs to take a break, he's still gonna come in and contribute. So
yeah.
Shout out
like
to
a guy who
like
doesn't
that.
know
Way
the
to go,
piece
Kevin.
of shit.
Hats off. Tip of the cap to Kevin. Parker, what are you drinking tonight, man?
So my favorite brewery in Dallas is called Three Nations, and so I'm going with their milk chocolate imperial stout. It's called Devour. It's got cool artwork on it.
I like that can art. It's solid.
Milk chocolate stout too.
It's really thick and creamy. I have to say, and when we were talking earlier about coming on tonight, I was like, oh, it's not really stout weather, but if we're gonna be drinking on the show, like that's kind of more my vibe. Typically, when it's like in the 70s and warmer, like it was today, I'd be more of an IPA person. But I felt like this is really like more an authentic look at who I am, so that's what I went with. Not Bud Light though. It's been a long time since I had a Bud Light.
Wait, so you don't have palate cleansers at your house?
I don't have Bud Light.
I'm more refined. I cleanse my palate with good beers.
And that is
What about a Bud Light Lime?
Yeah, Parker, when was the last time you had a party where somebody brought Bud Light Lime over and then just left it after they drank all your good beer?
Oh, now you guys are asking. I'm 30 years old. It's been a minute.
Fuck off, dude. 30 years old, but you think you're old or something?
I haven't had a Bud Light Lime in a while. No, I would say that my friends it'd be more likely to have like a cheap whiskey or something than a Bud Light Lime.
Oh, man, that's amazing. So, all right, I love that Parker tried to play the old man card to the guy who's turning 38 this year and just feeling old as shit. All right, listen. In the comments, Robert Taylor's drinking Untitled Art Rocky Road, 11% Imperial Stout. Oh my God, toasted
sounds
marshmallow.
so good.
Dude, that's just Robert Taylor for you, though, too. Didn't he call his shot this week?
Flexing.
Or was that last week?
Always flexing.
I don't understand where he lives that this is just like a normal beer selection.
California, man. California.
That's
how they roll.
ridiculous.
Biscuit said he's not drinking Coke Zero tonight. He's drinking Diet Fago Vanilla Cream Soda. Whoop, Emily. He went with the
Yeah.
Dude, that shit.
I was just gonna say, I was like, if you're drinking Fago, you already know what time it is. You gotta bust out that face paint.
This week I'm drinking, I don't even know how to pronounce it, Hisolda Irish Coffee Cream Stout, because it's March and it's officially Irish beer season. So I got an Irish coffee cream stout. I'd bang the hell out of this beer. It's delicious. It's really good. All right. Let us know in the comments what you guys are drinking tonight, and would you bang it? Let's get right into this,
Speaking
fellas.
of bang it, Parker, do you have like 903 brews floating around by you? Like you said, you're in Dallas, right?
Yeah, so I live in Dallas for the last few years. I have had 903. I haven't been out to the brewery. That's like, I guess technically like in a little bit, like an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
But they are in like stores here, and I had some
like
in the
so
store.
you can scoop those up. Like
they're fairly.
Sorry, we might need to work on an exchange program because dude, those 903s are just fire. Oh my God.
So good.
Yes.
Makes a good beer.
Yes.
All right, fellas, let's start off with Christian's favorite
if you want some
topic.
Buckeyes
We're
or
gonna-
chocolate or something.
Mookie, stop talking while I intro the segment. Come on, Irvin. Let's talk basketball. Boom, shakalaka. All right, so this week, Christian's Lakers have been god awful, and actually, it's been more than this week, right? They've lost 10 out of their last games. 6 out of the last 7.
Not
they
my
lost
Lakers.
Pelicans.
Not my Lakers. LeBron.
Yeah, I noticed he didn't say my LeBron. He said just LeBron. Not my Lakers, not my LeBron. LeBron.
That's a fair point. So I had to bring on a basketball expert to talk about this, because we've known like all year long that this whole roster construction was terrible, and Russell Westbrook is the worst former MVP I've ever seen in my life, and it's a contract that the Lakers can't unload, and they're screwed. They weren't able to make any moves at the trade deadline because they have no pieces to move, because they've moved them all already to get Anthony Davis and all these guys that are my age that are lumbering up and down the court, and now it's falling apart on them. Fans are booing them in Los Angeles. LeBron is yelling at fans in the I'll always call it the Staples Center. Look, I'm never gonna.
I was just gonna say the Staples Center,
or
Jake.
There's a second acceptable. There's a second acceptable term, and it is the Genie Bus Thirst Arena.
So Parker,
I'm just throwing it out there.
Parker, break down for us what is going on with these Lakers, and is there any chance that they have right now? They're a play-in team, right? They're like the 9 seed.
Yeah. What's going on is exactly so. Full disclosure, like, because anyone that like listens to me talk, I will say I think I actually like had them as like a very good team to start. Like, I was a person that was like, oh no, I think they could do things in like October or September. And here's my disclaimer: I went back and checked for an episode of FN Sports back, like, to make sure I wasn't so far off. I assumed they were going to do something to this roster because like LeBron James always does something to his roster, and they did nothing. They did nothing, and they're not very good. And I saw a stat the other day that since like Staples Center officially opened in like 99, like the Lakers and Clippers are officially like 500 in their series. And like as of like 6 or 8 years ago or something stupid, the Lakers were up by like a bajillion wins. Like the last like 8 years have been nuts. It's wild to think of the Lakers as like 2020 was the blip. Like otherwise, the last decade since Kobe tore his Achilles has been like awful. And I like we can get to X's and O's why things don't work in a minute, but it's been funny because it's guys that like it's easy to not like Dwight Howard. like it's easy to not.
It's been for a while.
It's easy to not like Russell Westbrook. It's easy to not like they got guys that are easy to not like, and so watching them like bumble down the floor and turn the ball over and flip the ball to the wrong team and do like jack up dumb crap, like it's a lot of fun because they're got a lot of guys that are easy to not like. I mean, maybe y'all like Carmelo. I think Carmelo's got like a cult following, but like Carmelo weirdly like is Carmelo. I mean, take LeBron. I guess we got one LeBron fan on, and I like LeBron myself, but I know there's a lot of people that don't. Is Carmelo like the next most likable Laker?
I think Anthony
honestly,
Davis, right? Anthony Davis is probably the next most likable. He's
just
always hurt.
Oh no, but he ain't playing though.
And I'm a Southerner, and like New Orleans, Louisiana, that whole part of the world hates that man.
Yeah.
So like, I guess that's like very much clouding my memory
Kentucky
there.
ties. I'm like, I still associate him with the Kentucky. So,
so wait, what I don't understand is why are you throwing all this hate at Dwight Howard when like he's crushing it at 106 in Park? Like I don't understand why you're throwing this shit at him. Like he's doing his job.
He was pretty solid in that episode of Blackish 3 weeks ago when he gets
so what's the deal, dude? Like guys acting his heart out over here.
When he showed up in the episode, I was like, damn, man, it's bad when they were like, hey, we want to get a prominent Laker on, and like best we can do is Dwight Howard, and Dwight Howard's like excited, and Blackish was like, fuck, man, all right, we'll take Dwight, like we want to get a Laker on in this final season, like y'all can't throw us a bone and give us Carmelo. No, Carmelo's a busy schedule, but we can give you Dwight. Fuck. All right,
Scott, can you imagine a world
he
where,
was
like,
so awful. His acting was like worse than Shaq and Steel bad. Like it was terrible.
Well, we'll get back to that because I don't know that was bad per se. It was very entertaining.
You didn't watch an episode of Blackish, don't?
Whoa, bro! Excuse me. Are you kidding me? Do you know how much that shit was on repeat on TBS? Like, come on now. Like Blackish was like my next SVU after SVU got tired.
Mookie was like, "Have you guys heard about this new show that just started up? Blackish? It's crazy. It's amazing."
I said on TBS.
Yeah. And like they've got so much more funding.
Episodes.
They've got so much more funding, yet still the same quality of writing that Fresh Prince had back in the day. Like, God, there's a part of me that really wishes they would bring that setting back in today's era and let today's writers really get a good crack at it.
Only in Hollywood could you write two stories about successful black people. It's crazy.
Wait, can I say something on the whole LeBron thing?
No.
Yeah, go
We're
ahead.
not talking about LeBron right now. Scott, what I wanted to ask you, though, is can you imagine a world where, 3 years ago, we'd be saying Blackish would have been yearning for a Ball brother to be a Laker and appear on the show?
Yes.
Parker, anyway, so listen.
Fuck you, Mike.
All right, much better. So much better. Whew, I feel so good about that.
Fuck you, because that was a solid point. Because the Balls, they're actually playing some ball now, finally in the league. Have you seen what's up with Chicago? I don't know. They're actually decent NBA players. Yet 3 years ago, if you said, hey, we would love for them to be the LA star to show up on the show, they'd be like, no, we're good. We'll like go with, I don't know, some of like the Spurs instead. That's what I was going after. Yeah, I'm drunk, but y'all try to play like that's all I have in my, playbook. Asshole.
I'm drunk.
Couldn't show for Jared when he was in the moment of need, and then try to fuck me when I'm trying to make a decent point. And sometimes names are hard to remember when they both have the same last name of Ball. But my point is if you had the Bulls Ball right now, which sounds funny to say out loud, if you had him making an appearance on Blackish, that'd be solid, man. Yeah, Tyson, you put in 12 hours and see what happens.
12 hours? Oof.
Tyson with the dynamite drop-in of holy shit, Mookie is fucking wasted.
Yeah, because this beer is delicious, dude. It's like a fucking raspberry milkshake.
Oh, God.
So Parker, about these Lakers. Listen, here's what I want to know. Is it done? Like, if they make the play-in tournament, which it looks like they will, but they've got like a tough stretch to finish out the season here. If they make the play-in tournament and get bounced, are they going to trade LeBron? Because that's really the only move they have at this point.
I don't know if they trade LeBron or not. I will say that like they don't have a lot of assets, and so like when I in like September, October, and I was like the Lakers would be good, I was assuming they were going to trade someone, but I also assumed like Talen Horton-Tucker would continue to get better. He has not, right? I kind of assumed Kendrick Nunn would like play, and he has not, right? And it's like they got those 3 fat contracts at the top: Westbrook, James, Davis. They've got Horton-Tucker and Nunn, who are making like a little less than $10 million a year, which like tradable. And then like they got a bunch of guys that aren't making any money. And if you give away a guy not making any money, you're not going to get a good player, because most good players are making some amount of decent money, right? And so I don't know how they could package like the $2 million Ariza's getting and the $2 million Dwight's getting and the $2 million Carmelo's. Like, could they put all that together to get something back? I don't think so. Today there was some like leak that like Russell Westbrook will be traded this postseason, and like the word traded is important because while he's getting $47 million next year, it is a player option. So like he opts into it saying, you're going to pay me $47 million, but then you're going to trade me somewhere else. I don't know who is going to take Russell Westbrook at 33 years old for $47 million. I mean, that's a lot of cash. And it, you know, those athletic guys that play off of their athleticism, like the crash is always hard. This is just particularly hard to watch. But outside of that, like,
is it? I'm having fun.
Question from the audience here. Let's just assume, for ease of conversation, that everything stays stable state with the Lakers through the end of the season, through the end of the cap season, right, if you will. What are they on the hook for contract-wise going into next fall? Like, who is guaranteed to be on the roster? How many years they have left? What does their cap situation actually look like?
Well, it's worth pointing out that like Westbrook, James, and Davis on their own are almost a salary cap. Like it's like the salary cap is like 110. It's like 109 or 109 and change, almost 110. And like those 3 are making currently it's like 44, 42, 37. Like dun, right?
And they all have this next upcoming year plus one, right? So there's like no easy buyout clause. Yeah.
Right. The easiest thing would be to find a way to get Westbrook to turn down his player option. But again, he's making $47 million if he takes it. Like who's going to turn down, even if you get booed every night, you're going to take $47 million.
And the fact that he's played like garbage all year long, like he's got to take that just because otherwise, like he's not making that anywhere else. So you got to take that off.
Can you give me an actual scenario as a professional athlete in basketball where you turn down $47 million?
If somebody's
like,
going to
does Giannis turn down $47 million guaranteed for 1 year right now? I don't think so.
I think the only thing would be a guy that is clearly getting better, like, and Giannis, I guess, would be close.
Definitely.
Like
Trae Young, would he turn down 47.5 for a year?
It would all become like cap math, right? Like, is it if you turn on 47 this year, can you opt in for 2 years at 50 next summer, or can you up the number later? That's the only reason, and that's not ever going to happen, Russ Westbrook. Like this $47 million next year, and it's up to him if he wants to opt in. Lakers can't do anything about it if he does. That's the last.
I would already be telling the Lakers I'm going to opt in. I'd be saying it every day. I'd be like, hey, I just want to call you guys and let you know I'm opting in. Okay, I'll talk to you at practice.
Lonnie was talking about that on his podcast. He was like, that paper is already printed. It's signed. If you can opt in at July 13th at 12 o'clock, at 12 o'clock, 000:0001, that paper is being delivered to the Lakers.
100%.
No, it's not even that. You change your license plate even. Like, you go vanity plate across the board, and all it says is opt in. You know what I mean? Like that's your handle on Twitter. You change your fucking TikTok and everything, and all it says is
God, it's true though. Seriously,
I mean?
there's
Like,
no way.
I mean, as they're currently constructed, Parker, like if they make the playoffs, they're screwed, right? Like they're a one and done team if they get out of the playoffs.
Why is that? If they make the playoffs, they're screwed. They're screwed, man.
They can get into the play-in tournament at least. And
okay.
Well, but the play-in is they'd get a weekend more of basketball before the same thing happens.
Ginny gets more dollars to put on her fake boobies. That's all.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Mookie.
Have you seen her Twitter lately? Like it's.
Did y'all see her get booed out of the stadium the other night? She just left, and that's bad.
That's good stuff.
The family organization right there. That's bad.
Christian, how are you feeling like as a LeBron fan watching all of this unfold, watching the Pelicans stomp them, watching LeBron like stand there for 25 seconds and give up on plays? Like how you feeling, man?
I completely stand with LeBron because LeBron's been asked, and leave out the Heat years in this, but since he came to the league, LeBron has been asked to carry it, whatever team he's on. And the difference between the Lakers and the Cavs is I don't think on the Lakers, LeBron has the power to build the roster that he wants, especially when it comes to the trade deadline, because I think the Lakers are like, oh, we're the Lakers. We're going to do what we want. We're not really going to listen to you as much. But the Cavs, like LeBron is the Cavaliers organization, so he has free reign to pick and choose players. I also think if they get into that playing game, I don't think anyone really wants LeBron in the playoffs, no matter how low of a seed the Lakers are. I think that's a scary thought for anyone. Absolutely.
Oh my God.
And I'm not wrong because they said the same thing about the Cavaliers, and then he carried them to the finals.
But like you are though, like the Cavs, as sad as it to say, Boobie Gibson was a better supporting cast piece than LeBron has right now.
I won't sit here and let y'all shit on Larry Hughes like that. That man starred in a Nelly music video. Larry Hughes was a solid number 2 and pulled enough weight for LeBron. How dare you people?
Scott, I am here for you just dropping in random LeBron James teammates and what cameos they made in different TV shows and videos. I'm here for that all night long. Please continue.
I would like to nominate.
As far as we can go.
I would like to nominate Anderson Varejão's hair. Just the hair on its own, I think, makes for a great teammate.
Yes. No, that's an absolutely great point.
Parker, but
Deladova deserves a nomination just for being a fun name to say. Deladova, I think, is a good nomination as best LeBron teammate.
Deli? Yeah,
that's a fun name, and he's scrappy and gym rat, and
I was just gonna say he had that really good white receiver run in the playoffs.
Perfect name for your terrier, obviously.
If Edelman's going to the Hall of Fame, so is Deladova. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh my God.
It's true.
Does he get to take the Coast of Espresso with him?
Christian, you said you did a power hour. You didn't say a Century Club because you're acting like that right now with that kind of statement.
What's a Century Club?
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah. We're in college 12 years apart.
Mike, no.
We're in college.
Eat my dick about 12 years apart. You know what a Century Club is? Anybody else on the panel know what a Century Club is before I roast your asses for being terrible people too?
I do not. Go ahead.
Okay.
Wow. It is 100 minutes of a power hour.
What?
A power hour is 60 minutes. A Century Club is you do it. No. Are you kidding me?
Christian, I want to know how you feel about this as a LeBron fan, because you made a point that you said LeBron has been asked to carry any franchise that he's on since he came into the league. And I would have to disagree with that.
I said
except for the Heat, though.
He said take the heat out of that.
That's fine. I feel like, though, that's not necessarily true. I feel like he brings a lot of that on himself. He is, and I've been contending that the LeBron and MJ debate would not be what it is today if they switched eras, only because LeBron wouldn't have the same player power to do all the roster management that he does. Like, at least Jordan waited until after he retired to tell us he was a terrible GM. LeBron's just doing it as a player. So that's the only reason why we think that there's any difference there.
An underrated part is MJ arguably had the best big three ever when he
the
played.
Original big three.
Yeah, the OG big three. And
what?
Also, like, LeBron doesn't because if you look at LeBron is a pass first player, which is why it's so incredible that he stands where he does in terms of scoring and rebounding. But LeBron, no one on the Lakers can do shit with Davis out everywhere, and no one on the Cavs from 2003 to when he left in 2010 could have done shit either. He took the 2007 Cavs team with Mo Williams as his second best player to the finals, and yeah, he lost to the Spurs, but.
Just gonna shit on Boobie Gibson like he didn't knock down those wide open threes in the corner.
But that's the difference. If he can knock down the three,
dude, and seeing that's the shit. Now, Christian, I swear to God, if you come after Boobie, I'll fuck with you because you know what?
Okay.
Boobie Gibson made his ass the way of a MTV Challenge final, motherfucker, and
well,
that shit's for real.
I'm going to agree with you guys and say that he could knock down those threes. That's the difference. Is no one on this Lakers team can knock down those threes. And if you look at the stats, LeBron's having probably a top 3 statistical wise year of his career right now, and it's going so under the look because the Lakers are so bad. But
show your work.
Let's see. Well, let's just
this
see.
Conservative, he's at 27-6-6, and that's conservative.
No, but I'm serious. I
let's
don't want to open another.
Let's see how bad things are for LeBron and the Lakers. Because I got to be honest, I don't think LeBron wants to be there anymore, and there is. The evidence right here in this photo that we found. Apparently, the Lakers had team picture day this week. I don't know if you guys saw this. Why you have team picture day in March? I don't know, but the Lakers did. And this is the image that the Lakers put out on their Instagram account with LeBron James.
This is the ultimate when you see it photo.
And in case you can't see it, let's just go ahead and zoom in a little bit here on LeBron. That is LeBron James in the Lakers team photo.
You know how I know he's not going anywhere though, and there's a legit reason why.
Because he's cold and what is he doing there?
He has his contract set up perfectly for when his son comes into the league. He's a free agent. That's why he's not going anywhere.
Oh, but the contract would carry with him if he got traded. I think the deal there is that if you want to get into it, is Bronny really a pro at 18? They'd have to change the rules to let high school kids in.
No, he has when LeBron's contract is up, Bronny would have just finished his freshman year.
He would have had his one. He would have had his one. Now he's done.
I don't think he's an NBA player by any means, but I think the name gets him wherever he wants to go.
LeBron's gonna make that shit happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gonna make sure that his son is in the league, even if it's for only one game somewhere.
Wait a minute. So, are you guys saying that what is happening now is LeBron is taking intentionally? As I freeze, maybe.
Yep, frozen. There you go. You're back.
50. All right. So private chat is also off the table. Cool. What he's doing now is intentionally just trying to play this shit out, buy time for his son to get in the league, tank it, so they can get some.
Nope, wrong. Because Parker actually wrote an article.
How do you know if I'm wrong?
I know you're wrong.
I haven't even finished what I was saying. Because I was going to say LeBron's going to go play hoops in Ukraine in 12 months. And you're saying, nope, that's wrong. Yeah, Mike. See, that's what happened.
Parker wrote an article for Belly Up where he's been breaking down who needs the 20. I swear to God, don't fucking touch buttons. Parker's been breaking things down on Belly Up, and he did who needs the 2020
wild card, bitches. Yeah!
I don't know what just happened.
It's Mookie. He's drunk and he's touching buttons and he's getting me pissed.
It's another Thursday night, except usually on Wednesday.
Parker, would you shut up and let me talk, Mookie? God damn it, man. I have to teach you. I have to talk to you
Moving on.
Okay, I'm done now. I promise.
I'm so glad we got a second intern because we can fire Mookie, elevate Christian, and we keep an intern. Done. Still continue. Done.
Wait, does that mean I get to claim an unemployment though?
It means you're fired.
Yes, so I can get food stamps and shit.
Yeah, double the salary you're making now from this show. You're fired.
Thank you, Uncle Joe. I appreciate it so much.
Parker was writing articles about who needs the 2022 championship the most. And in your article about LeBron, you talked about like his championship history and like how it's kind of fluky in the championships that he's won. And then this is like the one that you were like, he needs this one. It needs to be done in a way that like there is absolutely no doubt about it. He was the best. They were the best. And this is a legit championship to lend some credibility to his rings, because the 4 rings that he has, they're a little dicey.
Well, and right in that, I will say LeBron was not the only person. Like several guys got their own articles.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
LeBron's is 2011. They don't beat Dirk. 2012. It's a lockout season, and shorter. And he, obviously that hurts older teams, across the league. You could also argue that hurts like LA Kobe's Lakers, because the games are like really condensed. They play 50 games in the span of like 3 months. And then 2013, you obviously have the Ray Allen shot, like crazy. Like how many times does it happen in the world of sports? 2014, they lose. 2015, they lose. 2016, the 3-1 comeback with Draymond's suspension for Game 5. And what does that play in things?
Dick kicker.
The dick kicker. Not a great strategy. Don't advise that. No. And then 2020 was this weird bubble season where like Anthony Davis got extraordinarily hot, and they got at, what was he, 34, 35? He got 4 months off of playing games, right? And for younger guys, that might get them out of rhythm. But for a guy like LeBron, I think that's like a good like boost of energy. And that's not to say any of those don't count. Like everyone had a shortened season, and everyone had to lay off for the bubble, and that had all those things. But it's just that is a weird series of events for this guy. Whereas the 2022 feels like a normal season presently. It doesn't have the injuries of like last season or whatever. Although Davis has obviously been in and out of the lineup a lot, played very few games, frankly. And like LeBron winning this title would be like, but that one you can't say anything about, right? You can't take that one away from him. I don't think it's gonna happen. I will. I don't.
But this kind of sucks, because I've never, you always hear the arguments when it comes to Jordan and LeBron, and it's just ring total, and nobody's ever brought up these intricacies. And I've never like even thought about these things, and you're giving me this thing to think about, and all I can like further elaborate on that is, oh my God, don't let the Dans of the world like read this article and like hear these facts. Like the absolute LeBron haters who are looking at anything to grasp on and like expound upon, like don't let them find out about this, because they're already annoying enough when, again, they're just like ring counting and not looking at like the big picture. I can only imagine how ridiculous it would be if they started honing in on this, because like you're saying, like it doesn't change the fact that he won those rings and everybody has to deal with it. But I mean, I'm someone who's like, hey, that Dodgers ring, I'm gonna put an asterisk next to it because you got the short season. And anytime you got a short season, you got to throw it up there and be like, yeah, they won the title, but. And with LeBron, it's like, I mean, these are legitimate things. Like he won during a lockout. Like I guess the only one that I'm really not gonna give him shit about, like the only one that's like super legit in my eyes is the one against Golden State. And I mean,
even with Draymond being suspended,
like I was gonna say, like Draymond.
Christian has been calling.
No, I was just gonna say, like let Christian do it, because I want to hear from like a super.
I just have one question, because you brought up like the bubble season, whatever, but like so many players that were in the bubble, like not even just LeBron, have come out and said that was the hardest basketball that I've ever played, because they are so isolated from their families, and like
that's all they had.
Not in like their real world. Like they don't have their personal chefs, which everyone in the NBA does, but like they have nothing that like they usually play basketball with, and they've all come out and been like, yeah, that was some of the hardest basketball I've ever played. So like in a way, that might be one of the hardest championships to win.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to look at it as having first world problems was such a struggle that they almost didn't win.
I'm just saying they're out of there. Like when you're a pro athlete, you have this routine.
Go.
When you're a pro athlete, like you get to a pro athlete because like you have this routine, like you have your diet, like if you're a professional athlete, you have like shit that you stick to, and like They were
within the last like
out of
20
that.
years. I mean,
Yeah.
these
And
motherfuckers
they were
used to. Jordan
Scott,
was drinking beer after games. Like,
all right,
this
fine,
is just a new thing to say. Like, professional
Scott,
athletes have a
that's not what we're
routine and
talking
shit,
about, though.
like-
The thing
But
is,
Jordan also played in like an era where they were
Exactly.
playing hellmen. So
was
Mookie,
different.
Stop touching
And so-
buttons.
fuck you, dude. If you will let me speak on a serious topic and actually add something, I will stop touching buttons. But Christian's got a fucking point. That was the season. That's how they played. And Scott, what I want to say to you is, no one's gonna ever be Michael. All right, let's put that aside. No one's ever gonna get. No one's ever gonna get 6 titles.
But I'm not arguing.
No, I
that
understand
anybody's
that.
going
So
to be Michael.
right.
Like,
So what we need to do after that is calibrate and say, all right, so who could win or who won in the most challenging circumstances and made the most out of the teams they were with. And I contend that LeBron's championships were made because of him. You swap him out for someone who, I don't know, you put Carmelo Anthony in there, or you put a peer. I don't know who would qualify as a peer for a power forward that changed the game, was assist first. I don't know how you swap that out, but at the end of the day, you say, yeah, the Ray Allen shot, yeah, that was a fluke or whatever, but they only get to that point because LeBron was leading that team and created that opportunity. So again, yeah, it's hard to say that his 2021 title in the bubble was a fluke or whatever, but like, look, dude's out there grinding and he's not a great GM. Obviously, we've seen that. But he does elevate the talent around him to an elite level. He does.
No, the comment.
Oh, yeah. What comment? What was the comment? I didn't see it.
I just read it. Jimmy Butler and Rachel Nichols did okay in that bubble.
Yes, sir. Shout out Tyson.
I think the bigger thing about LeBron's titles is just that they're weird, and it would be nice for him to not have a weird one. I don't necessarily.
Right, yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, nobody's trying to discount them. It's like, it's just the thought.
Who cares if they're weird? How many of Bill Russell's titles were weird?
I mean, we went over age a second ago.
Exactly, but that's my point, though. Like history isn't going to say if they're weird or not. He fucking won. At the end of the day, sports is a zero-sum game.
Right, but nobody's arguing that fact. It's just that Parker writing this article, like, it's pointing out a highlight that I never even thought. Like, it's just something to think about. It's not anything.
Is that they were weird?
Well, no,
he won them, but they were a weird title.
Okay, fine. Don't use the word weird. Say unique. Whatever the hell you want to say.
The point is, who gives a fuck? In a culture that values winning or losing, it's a zero-sum game. You did or you didn't. Who gives a fuck how weird they were? He won those titles.
And they could also...
Mookie, he's not tanking. That's all I'm saying. He needs the title, so he's not going to fucking tank like you said 10 minutes ago. You said he's tanking, so then he can bring on his son or whatever bullshit reason.
Oh, no. I didn't say he was tanking. I said he was riding it out, understanding the roster was shit. They'll turn it over. They'll flop. They're not going to make the playoffs this year. Next year is probably not a great time, but they'll figure out what they need to surround Bronny. So 3 years from now, it's going to be on fire.
Well, and so right now, the way they'd have to win the play-in game, they had to play the Clippers and the 8 versus 9, and they have to win that. And I'm sorry, they'd play the Pelicans in 9 versus 10. Winner of that would play the loser of Clippers Timberwolves. So they'd have to play the Pelicans, who just beat them by 30. And then if they win, they'd have to play the loser of Pelicans Timberwolves. And again, if they lose to the Pelicans, as it currently stands, that's enough to drop them out. It's worth pointing out, like, the Blazers are right behind the Pelicans, and the Spurs are a couple games behind that. So I guess theoretically, like, it might be somebody else, but that's not like we've seen. That's not a great matchup. I want to contest one thing, though.
You're still discounting the Zion Williamson factor.
Well, speaking of Zion, I believe it was Christian. Somebody said that all pro basketball players have chefs. And if that's the case, Zion needs to be fired. And that's all I'm going to say. All I'm going to say about that is that if all basketball players have chefs, not just LeBron,
look, dude,
then
you're
some people need to fire
putting it on him to have that chef cut him out of McDonald's French fries cold turkey. Like it is a long, slow process.
That's a tough
to
job.
wean off that.
And I really like watching Zion play basketball. I think me making fun of him comes from a place where like I wish he would just play more. I like watching him play.
You do? Like you remember that? Like you remember when Zion Williams played basketball? Because I fucking don't at this point.
Actually, that's a good point, though. Could you imagine being an athlete of Zion's caliber, and you go about your whole life eating whatever the F you want, and then you get to the league and number 1 overall pick, and your teams are good enough, but like everybody's telling you, hey, to get to this next level, you're gonna have to do this, and he's like, look, see, I'm great with doing all of those things, but like I've been eating like shit my entire life. Like I'm just gonna keep eating. Like I gotta live too. Like that would be hard for me to say. Like, yeah, I'm gonna give this up because think about how many other people don't who
But Scott,
like I'd always go back to be like, man, Chad Johnson ate McDonald's and he was one of the greatest. Like, I know he didn't win anything
and smoked cigars and had great time on the like. Right,
hey,
like,
but guys,
there's a middle ground I can find between giving it all up and still doing it.
This guy, hey, he's making a lot of money playing FIFA online now, though. So, like, can you just slow down there with throwing the shade at Chad Johnson?
I wasn't throwing shade. I was giving props. Like, you didn't listen to what I said. Like,
the funny thing about Zion, and like, correct me if I'm wrong here, but like, the Pelicans will not actually tell the public what's actually wrong with him. Like, we keep hearing foot, but like, we actually don't know the real issue.
Do we think that the Pelicans actually know what's wrong with him, or do you think it's like one of those things where it's a big man foot injury and they're still trying to figure out what the fuck is keeping him off the court?
I think a foot is an excuse for something. There's like a bigger reason why he can't see the court, but I think the Pelican just being like, oh yeah, it's like a lingering foot injury, but a lingering foot injury doesn't keep you out for 2 years. Like, I just think there's something bigger wrong with him, and the Pelicans will not tell us what it is. And like,
I like this conspiracy theory, Christian.
I was gonna say I'm all for a good conspiracy.
I didn't know if that was like a conspiracy. Like, I think
no.
Lean into it. You lean into this. This is a conspiracy theory, my friend.
They're saying foot, and you're saying no way.
Your intern assignment for the week is to develop this conspiracy theory out further. Let's get it super crazy. Come up with whatever you think the actual injury is, and we'll put it out next week as a conspiracy theory, and we'll try.
I think he's fat. I think that's what the actual injury is.
I would
That's a good theory.
I would love for the Pelicans to show up and be like, Zion Williamson, he's out for the next month with the fat.
DNP.
With the fat. DNP Popeyes.
No, they'd say it. They'd phrase it. DNP overweight. But
oh god.
All right, I want to know LeBron. So this week, let's get back to LeBron real quick. This week he was asked, I think it was after the loss to the Mavs, after the Mavs came back in the fourth quarter and beat the Lakers. So they lost to the Pelicans and then to the Mavs. LeBron in his post-game press conference, while he was eating oranges, and it was really awkward to watch, he had this to say when asked if he thinks like what he needs to do and does the team have enough to make a push here at the end of the season. This is what LeBron had to say.
Because we still have games to play. You gotta until you stump me out, cut my head off, bury me 12 feet under, then I got a chance. So that's my confidence. Obviously, at the end of the day, we got to come in and win ball games and we got to play better. But as long as we got more games to play, we still have a chance.
So LeBron said you've got to stomp him out, cut off his head, and bury him 12 feet deep, or else he has a chance. My question is, does it need to be all three, or like if you just do one of them, does LeBron no longer have a chance? Like, can he run around with no head and like he's like, I got a shot, I'm LeBron, I don't got no head, but I'm good. And then follow-up question, Parker, on that one: would Jordan fans then say Jordan would have played without a head better than LeBron?
But hey, as they say in hockey, let's do that hockey.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Neither do we.
Parker, I'm glad you're here tonight because you're witnessing Mookie's last episode of Craft Beer. We've joked about it before in the past, but I'm not joking right now. I'm 100% serious. Mookie will not be on the show next week. I'm changing the login. I'm not letting him into the stream. Mookie will not be here. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be, we're going to actually be able to have a conversation. My jokes won't get trampled by Mookie pressing buttons. Oh, look at that. He did it to himself. Anyways, so what do you make of that comment, Parker, of like, is this just lip service, or do you think LeBron actually believes that like they still have a shot to make a run?
I mean, at some degree, like thinking that is what makes them like athletes that LeBron is, right? Like that you don't come back from 3-1 against the Warriors if you don't think like that. Dang, Daniel does not like LeBron.
I like on cue. I said, "Don't let the Dans of the world hear about your article." I'm telling you, you give them an inch, man, they're gonna run with that.
Apparently, but that thought process is what makes LeBron, right? Like thinking I always have a chance. My name is LeBron James is why they come back 3-1 against the Warriors. It's why he goes back to Cleveland with the thing he's going to win a title. It's why he's so persistent about finishing the bubble season. Like he always has to think like that. But he also thought like that in 2007 when they got swept. Like that. Though that doesn't necessarily mean that's what happens. I'm sure a lot of athletes also think like that. Like frankly, I'm sure Russell Westbrook thinks every shot he's taking is going in. That doesn't mean they all do.
But that's what I mean. Is this just false bravado for the press conference, or do you think LeBron really thinks this? Because it seems to me more like this is just false bravado because LeBron's been around the game for 20 years. He knows this roster isn't a championship roster. I'm sure he thinks like, yes, I could do great things and I could carry my team, but he's got to look around the league and be like, yeah, I ain't got it like that anymore. Like I'm not that 28-year-old kid that's dominating the league. I'm a 37-year-old man who's just trying to hold on long enough to play with my kid. Look at Christian just physically.
All right. So hold on. Can I get a level set question in here too? Because I think this is going to help with the conversation. Like you're trying to spur is how many years do we all think LeBron has left in the league? Like legitimate
until
years.
Bronny gets there. Like that's it.
So
like,
you're saying like what is that 3-4 years? That's
I was just
it.
Say, whenever that happens, he's done.
No, and again, I'm saying from a physical perspective, competitive perspective, if Bronny isn't on his team, how long can he physically and competitively last in the league before he needs to retire?
6 or 7.
6 or 7 years.
It also depends.
He doesn't want to walk away on somebody's sixth man or like just a guy.
So Scott, what Scott's saying here is that like he has a precipitous fall off. Now, basically, this is the end of LeBron as an all-star caliber.
Yeah, this is absolutely the beginning of the end. It probably even
beginning of the end. No, this is like the middle of the end. Then, like honestly, this year has been
to be fair. If the end is him getting, if he's getting 28. 28.9, so 29 points, 6 assists, and 8 rebounds a game. Like the end is still like
right. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't really count this as the end because I'm saying like this is the beginning of the end. Like within 3 years, those numbers start to slip. But I don't think that he's a starting caliber like put you on your back guy anymore. After 3 years.
Hang on, I gotta get into Christian's head here because he is so upset at this conversation. Christian, you're saying
I'm just like, and the reason why I think he has 6 to 7 is because even when like he drops off physically, he will still be he will lead the league in assists until this guy is 44 years old. Like he is more intelligent than anyone in the league and anyone who will come into the league for a long time. He reads defenses better than anyone who is in the league and will come to the league for a long time. Even when he like cannot drive and body you in the lane, he will stand outside, direct an offense, and get 11 assists a game. Like, and like if you need to switch him to point guard, do it. But like he's going to be in the league for a while until he doesn't want to be. That's just the type of guy he is. He's the Tom Brady of the NBA, is what he is.
Oh, I knew it was coming. I was waiting for that comment.
I fucking hate Brady. But
okay, but here's the thing. When asked how he feels right now, this is what LeBron had to say.
I feel like poop right now.
I mean,
it feels like poop, Christian.
I had to work with Russell Westbrook, I feel like poop too. Like
he feels like poop.
I would also say, Christian, that my worry would be like once he's played with his son, does he want
phrasing?
I would say does he want to?
No,
right?
that's what I said.
Right. Like once he's 40 years old, has done the thing where he plays with his kid in the NBA and
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like he's gonna get 3 more years where he has the desire to do that.
And frankly,
He's not going to limp out though.
He has nothing. He has nothing else to prove. Like
Yeah,
why? Why would
he? He needs one more. He needs that scoring record, and then he's gone. I think.
But he'll break that before Bronny's in
next season.
It doesn't matter though. He's not going out as a chump. Like he's not going to limp out the league.
You're right. He's not.
Like he's going to go out. He's going to go out as being like the 6th man off the bench on a team that has a shot at a title or something. He's going to drive a team.
He's going to leave as a starter.
Playoff.
He's going to leave as a starter.
That's what I'm trying to
say. He's going to leave as a starter who just barely misses the playoffs.
He's not going to call Malone this shit. I can promise you that. He's not going to sit out in Game 7 of a finals. Like that's not.
I was wondering if it was going to be more like the Vince Carter deal, where he was like the vet on a team of young Hawks that like he retires and the next year they're really good. LeBron's current contract expires in 2023. Bronny is I think 24/7's got him as the 30th ranked prospect in the class of 2023. So theoretically, I guess they could alter things for Bronny because they do things for LeBron all the time. But for reference,
just like Ohio State,
the 30th ranked prospect in like the last pre-COVID class of 2019 was a guy named Trace Jackson Davis. Like not a pro, right? Not a pro. Number 29 was Wendell Moore. 31 was Oscar Schwibby. I like guys that are not. Yeah,
my man had 2 last names, so he had none.
Yeah, exactly. The deal is that these guys are like in that range. They're kind of will they, won't they make it. Now Bronny probably gets some bump on his name, but he's also a 6'3" guard. I could see him going and like sitting on the bench on a team with that. If it's a good team,
he's going to arrange a sweetheart deal to play with his son. That's all it's going to be.
All right, so Bron and his kid are going to retire both from the Memphis Grizzlies.
Like,
Grizzlies goes like 15-79.
I've got it because he's talked about it and like he's always had this fondness for it. Wherever Pat Riley is, he is going to draft Bronny and make him whatever pick it needs to be, and then he's gonna be like, "Look, LeBron, let's do this one more time, baby. Like we had some good times, we had some things, like we did some good things. Like, look, you've heard about how I talked about you in the past. Forget about when you left. Ignore all that. We got Bronny. Come on home." Come on home to Daddy Riley, and let's do this one more time.
Look, none of that was Pat Riley. That was all what's his name from Cleveland. I literally had it and I just forgot it.
Dan Gilbert? No, Dan Gilbert was Comic Sans racism. Like, no,
yeah, but you think Dan Gilbert didn't infiltrate Pat Riley's Twitter? Because that motherfucker's password is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Dan Gilbert's an idiot, so he didn't do anything. Everything Dan Gilbert's ever done is by accident.
Hey,
I think my favorite part of this whole show is watching Christian just slowly hate everybody as we.
Are you kidding me? This kid doesn't have to take a fucking midterm. He's so excited.
I want to talk to the basketball expert for a minute.
Talk to who?
You're telling me that
not you.
Oh yeah,
not you, Loki. Definitely not you.
I heard expert. I should have known that was out.
If LeBron like grows old, right, and you switch him to a full-time point guard, he couldn't give you the same production that Chris Paul does on the Suns.
I would think it would take some shifting. I think the other thing that you got to remember with Chris Paul too is that like he's got a mid-range game that LeBron would probably put his back to the basket a little more and it would look different. I think the bigger thing to me is that like Chris Paul's also not 40 yet. Like Chris Paul is not quite to that age either.
Yeah.
And I think the remarkable thing and is like I'm a guy that says that like Miami Heat's version of LeBron was the best version of LeBron and one of the best like as a 30-year-old, like the best I've ever seen, right?
Correct.
Because he was the pass guy that was getting 25 a game but could get 50 if you needed him to. He got 45 in that Celtics playoff game, right? And also was jumping with his chest above the rim, right? Like just doing all of it. And I think that is like we're just slowly working our way down from that. I feel like a team is going to have to like have that kind of backroom conversation. Like, hey, That's what we need. We don't need you to do anything else. We don't want you to talk to the GM. We don't want you to say stupid in the meet. Like, we don't want you to do anything else. And then we can talk about having you and Bronny on the same team. Worth pointing out, and I don't want to like dismiss all of these guys in the 30 range. Like, you move up a couple spots at 26 is Patrick Williams. He's a legitimate pro. You move back a couple spots, you got 36 is Isaac Okoro. Like, you could find a pro there. And so I felt bad. Like, it sounded like I was saying Bronny is not. He certainly could be. It's just not the lock that like guys in the top 5 are.
It's surprising that somebody with the tools and the stuff that Bronny has been experienced to like that he's had his entire life. He's grown up with like the greatest possible coach you could have if you're a young basketball player in his dad, and he's the 30th bet. Like, that doesn't. It's not a ringing endorsement. Like,
I mean, at a certain point, though, dude, like,
I think he'd be a little bit higher just based on the fact that, like, hey, Pops, show me a few things. Like,
I'm pretty sure like, Pops showed him all the things, but dude, at a certain point, like, you have the genes you're given. Your fast twitch or slow twitch muscles are what they are.
I mean, and if I'm Bronny, I
hold on.
Okay, go ahead, Mookie. Whatever you're gonna say is gonna be way more important. Go ahead.
Yeah, I forgot.
I figured.
No, I'm just kidding. What I heard from our esteemed guest Parker is that LeBron couldn't be Chris Paul in that scenario because LeBron would ask too many questions and be too involved, as if he wanted to be part of the offense as opposed to just taking orders.
I mean, I think more about the organization, I guess what I meant there. Like, does he want to be in charge and like, hey, if I'm going to play like Chris Paul, we should go get this guy and that guy and that guy. Organizations.
And you think LeBron couldn't adapt to a scenario where he's understanding that he's the Chris Paul and they'll put the pieces around to make it work?
I think he's got better things to do. He's I think that at his point in his career, again, if he plays all 82 games next year, which, knock on wood, he'll pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for all-time points and those kinds of things if he keeps maintains current averages and whatnot, right? Like, those things are going to happen if he just plays. And so we're talking 3 years from now, like, he legitimately could go like own a franchise that, Bill Simmons said earlier this week, like, there's talks about LeBron owning a Las Vegas franchise.
Oh, but he's an idiot from Boston, so why do you put credit to that?
The Seattle apparently is also in the same talk that Bill Simmons gets from, right? But so being involved in those kinds of things, he's got all of the stuff with the barbershop and all of those kinds of things. I've upset Christian. I guess he left.
I was just gonna say, what the hell?
It's Christian. He's in college, internet payment, and
he was
whatnot.
like, my friends are getting really loud in the other room. I gotta go. I was like,
Parker, the thing the thing is that I think that LeBron has that competitive spirit that drove Michael back in the day. It's different. It manifests in different ways. And I think if he has a shot to win a title and he has to accept a different role or he has to shut up about personnel decisions, I think he's going to do it because at the end of the day, he wants to A, play with his kid, and then B, win titles. And I think he can play with his kid and be like, yeah, all right, so Bronny, you actually do suck. Like, you got here, but all right, fine. You're averaging 2 points a game for a reason. I'm still going to go chase that Larry O'Brien. You don't think he can adapt to that like Chris Paul has?
I weirdly, I guess in my head, see him doing things outside of playing at that point. Like, could he do all of that? Yeah, but like, wouldn't he have put together a different team in LA to win titles now? Then, I guess I see it as more like the evidence is telling me he's clearly very involved, and not just because he was like, I'm not a big Space Jam fan. He's involved in other things.
Film. Look, and LeBron he was burned his first time in Cleveland, right? He spent his first 7 years in Cleveland surrounded by dog shit. And I think he was like, you know what? I'm never letting that happen again. I'm never letting, in this age of like players can call the shots and can do what we got to do, I'm never letting a team ruin my chance. I'm taking it all under my, and that's why he teamed up with Wade and Bosch, and they got that whole crew together. And that's why when he came to Los Angeles, he's like, I'm building this roster. Like, fuck y'all, get out of the way. I got my agent. He's going to figure out a deal with AD. We're going to put him in Space Jam so that he comes to LA and hangs with me. Like, he doesn't want a team.
Wait,
he doesn't want to rely on a team. He doesn't want to rely on a team. Like, he wants it to be on himself, it feels like. And that's probably.
But that's what I'm asking though.
It's probably to his detriment. Like if he would sit back and let the GMs GM a team, he might have more rings at this point.
But that's what I'm saying though. Is I think it's different. Like I don't think he's going to sit back and let the quote unquote GMs in LA GM. But I do think in Phoenix, they've got a solid front office. Like, and so I'm not saying it's going to be in Arizona or whatever, but like, you don't think that if LeBron could find a front office that could put him as that number 2,
bro, Miami got an amazing front office and they still ran that franchise.
No. I'm saying today, again, Miami, that was what, 8-10 years ago. The landscape has completely changed. Like, if LeBron had himself in a legit Chris Paul situation as Chris Paul has it today, you don't think he could take that back seat?
Hang on. Time out. We got to clear the lane here. Tyson dropped a sip, chug, drain, pour.
Parker,
boy. We do on our show sip, chug, drain, pour, which is marry, fuck, kill. All right?
Okay. We also gotta get to the quick hitters with Parker too.
Yes, we do. Yes, sip is marry.
God damn it, Joe! Keep us on track, would you?
Drain, pour is kill. So we're gonna do a sip, chug, drain, pour. The goats: Gretzky, Jordan, or Brady. Let's give it to Parker first. Sip, chug, drain, pour.
That is so rude, by the way.
I was gonna say that's a so tough assignment.
But also, good job, Mike. Way to do it.
I would do it.
I gotta be completely honest. This is easy as a non-hockey guy. I'm gonna chug is marry. I'm gonna.
No, he's
chug is fuck. Sip
fuck
is,
this
sip
guy.
is
Get
marry.
him out of here. Mute him.
Drew, stop touching buttons.
It wasn't me, dude. I took the thing over here.
Wait, so go back through with me. So I'm learning. It's sip is which one? Chug
marry.
is which one?
Yeah. Sip is marry.
Yeah,
chug is fuck, and then drain pour is
in either hole.
So I would sip Jordan, chug Brady, drain pour Gretzky because I'm not a hockey guy. Like that was weirdly just an easy like. If you, I don't know what would have been better, but that was a little bit easy just because I'm not a hockey guy.
I already know how the man who named his son Jordan is gonna and despises Tom Brady. I know how he's gonna answer this one. So Scott,
why does Scott despise Tom Brady? Did he write a poem about it or something?
It's so funny because Mike nailed it. I mean, was there any doubt that I would sip Jordan, chug Gretzky, and drain poor Brady? No. Well, go ahead. There it is. I think it's easy.
That's why I didn't go to Scott first because I knew that's exactly.
And I appreciate it. And I was like, look, I know I'm telegraphed to this one. Like they've got me pegged on this one, and it's fine. I'll just sit back. I'm still gonna get my same answer.
I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm sipping Jordan, I'm chugging Gretzky, and I'm drain pouring Brady. Mookie, what's your?
I really was hoping you'd forget that I hadn't picked yet, and you were gonna go on the next episode. Obviously,
no, you're not going on to the next episode.
What's up, Dre Day? I'm gonna sip Gretzky because he is the man that invented anticipation and perfected it.
And Paula.
He did give birth to her.
Okay. All right, Mookie. Thank you. That's well done.
Well, hold on. I can't. Why don't I get to finish?
Parker's got like 5 minutes. We still got to do the quick hitters with them. And
5 minutes. What are you talking about? We got like 13 at least.
Parker has 5 minutes. Mookie. God damn it.
Fine. Pass.
Okay.
Thank you, Mookie.
Hey, real quick before we wrap that whole thing up, I do want to just go back and say when it comes to the GOAT thing, like LeBron with Bronny, like if he only goes in the 30s, yeah, we can disparage that all we want. He may never be a superstar in the NBA. But if I'm Bronny, I'm like, hey, I'm better than Marcus and Jeffrey. Like, so I got that going on. So, like, in the parentage game, LeBron is winning that shit, right? So Michael will go down as the GOAT player, and LeBron will go down as the GOAT parent.
Is that why LeBron's pushing so hard for this? Because he's like, look, I might not have 6 rings, but
yes. He's like, have you seen this motherfucker's kids? One got arrested in Vegas for some shady shit, right? Like, fuck that.
My kid's coming off the bench in Milwaukee. That's all I'm saying.
How many points did his kids average? I'm just saying.
All right, Scott. Go. Can you grab the quick hitter questions real quick?
Yeah, let me get to the doc real quick. Hold on 1 second.
Parker. So let's wrap this up.
Can I click a button?
Give me your choice. No, give me your choice for NBA champion this year. Who you got? Who you putting the money down on? Where should we lay these bets?
I think my preseason pick was Miami. That doesn't look good in the last 2 days. I really like Phoenix a lot. They were there a year ago. They feel better than that. Even a year ago, they had like a COVID issue in the playoffs and stuff like that. As long as I'm a Rockets guy, as long as Chris Paul's hamstring's okay, I think they'll be all right. I say that the asterisk I put there is I want to watch more than 3 Sixers games before passing up on them. Right, like that's.
Ooh. All right, wait. My turn. I got a question. Who do you think will have better postseason success after that trade, the Sixers or the Nets?
Oh, that's fun. So is Durant's healthy? I think he had 17.5. I just saw.
Let's assume all health and whatever fucking vaccine mandates and bullshit like that. You know what I mean? Like just like
whatever that little thing.
Fucking Kyrie, piece of ass.
I liked the way Philly's built. And I think I think I would go with
the stock.
I think I'd go with Philly purely on there's going to be a moment in that if they play in the Eastern Conference Finals or in a series, right? There's going to be a moment where like Ben Simmons has to score again. It's gonna come up again. And I know that like Durant's gonna give you a 50 piece at least one of the nights. And I know that Kyrie's gonna give you his own 40 one of the nights. But in a 7-game series, Ben is too instrumental to not give you something. And I need to see it done. I haven't seen it done. I need to see it done.
So you're picking the Sixers.
Out of those two, yeah. I will say that I would not.
Edon.
I wouldn't be surprised to see neither in the Eastern Conference Finals. If like Milwaukee you could see Milwaukee and Miami also make it. Like that's a very deep, and we didn't even talk about Chicago. Like that's a very deep conference right now.
The East is crazy this year.
So let's talk about Chicago. How far do you think they're legitimately going to go?
Do
you think they have staying power in the playoff game or a series?
No, but I think where it gets to be important is like the guys in Brooklyn fall apart easily. Joel falls apart easily. Like if they push one of those guys to 7, like that adds up. And I think that's frankly the more important way Chicago plays out. And it's really just because like none of those guys, like DeMar has the most playoff experience and it's losing to LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? Like none of those guys have a lot of time on task going deep in the playoffs and like what that grind is like. And that makes me not want to trust them. I do think that there'll be a tough out for someone in the first or second round, but I guess the first round they play a 7 seed. So right now, I guess it's, but the other 4 in the East, I think are all better teams.
So you're banking on the mental aspect of that, right? Because there are some people with some actual physical, like, you know, you can get a ding in the game and you can get, you know, knocked out for 2 games out of a 7-game series. You're thinking it's more mental.
Well, and they'll be seeing a Miami, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, or Philly, someone in the second round, and like Atlanta,
right, that guy, that guy Trey Young. We haven't even talked about him. That down there at the limb pepper wings, like those have their own advantage.
Yeah, and so I guess my thought there is that like, will there be a tough out for someone? Yeah, but Milwaukee at some level is also defending champs. It's hard to bet against a guy like Giannis is having a phenomenal year. It's under the table. It's Milwaukee, but it's been a phenomenal year.
All right, man. Let's get Parker out of here. Before we do, Parker, we do this with all of our guests. We do a quick hitter question. So, quick hitters, right? You know, gut reaction.
Don't Scott, are you keeping track?
I'm ready to go.
Scott got it. So, Scott, don't be nervous with the music, Parker. Okay, it's fine.
Well, but you should though, because this is basically how you're going to be perceived by us.
Yeah, we need to know if we can bring you back on. If we can, if you want to, I don't know. You've been here with Mookie. Next time Mookie will be here, don't worry. We will make sure that Mookie isn't here next time you come on. But if you, we need to know that
try, bitch.
So Scott, so the Parker can get out of here. Go ahead and hit him with the quick hitters.
All right, you ready, Parker? Let's go. Plain cake donuts, yay or nay?
I'm a glazed guy.
Oh, boo.
That a boy.
It's a good answer.
Bat flips, yay or nay?
Always yay. Celebrate
That's
everything.
easy. That's easy.
Absolutely.
No, right now.
1 for 1.
A little bit more complicated. When you button your shirt and get ready for the day, do you button it from the top down or from the bottom up?
Bottom up, because I rarely button the top button, frankly.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
My man. That's what's up.
Impressive. I like it. All right. Same vein. When you're zipping up your pants, do you zip them and then button, or do you button and then zip?
Oh, I think I button and then zip. I wouldn't have actually thought about that process.
Yeah.
Good answer. Good answer.
It's still
Good
the right
answer.
answer, though. Still
It's
the
a
right
good
answer.
answer.
Button and zip.
Are IPAs just pumpkin spice lattes for white dudes?
Yes, and that makes them better. I love them.
I was going to say, as a man of IPAs.
White
We've had
dude.
We've had this question for 3 years, and now I feel like before it was an actual like serious question. Now I think it's just a fucking layup.
That's amazing.
Yeah, well, okay, but now we're getting into the nitty gritty. Let's get serious.
Now it's where it
Shit
gets
is
tough,
serious.
That's it. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Fair. Hawaiian pizza, pineapple on your pizza, yay or nay?
It's not for me, but I'm not like there are people that are disgusted by it. It's not for me. I don't eat it.
Okay, that's
So
a fair
that's-
answer.
is that a
We'll
nay?
accept that.
Yeah.
That's a,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
a nay. Yeah, that's a nay from him. Okay.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
When it comes to chicken wings, all drums or all flats?
Flats.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Solid.
Mhm.
Is a hot dog a
Oh.
sandwich? Be very careful. Be
Oh,
very careful, sir.
And we've pulled legal precedent into this conversation 19
So-
times.
I believe I've always argued yes. And my argument has always been like, I think a lot of things are sandwiches. I think I think a lot of things are sandwiches. And so that's what, yeah. Yeah.
Parker, not just a basketball expert, sandwich expert. My man.
All right, fine. We're gonna go deeper. Topanga or Kelly Kapowski?
I was a big Topanga kid.
Mm.
I was a big Topanga kid.
There's really no
Alright.
wrong answer.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer.
Like, we enjoy both.
Well,
on this show.
unless you said, well, I prefer Screech. That's the wrong answer.
Would have been weird. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And sir, do not answer this incorrectly.
Yeah, this is for all the marbles, man.
I've always thought of it, and when it was first proposed to me as a Christmas movie when I was like 16, I was like, "That's weird," but yeah, I think so. And that's been my take. Yeah, I think so.
Move this man.
I got one wrong.
Well,
Yes, you did.
You know what,
he's got a
Parker? It
chance.
was great having you on for your first and only appearance on Craft Brewed Sports.
He's got one more to redeem himself. The final question. I saved this one for last, being the basketball expert.
This is important. Parker.
Jordan or LeBron?
So I've been a LeBron guy, but I think that's my age. I am a LeBron guy.
Yeah, but you know the right answer.
No, I'm a LeBron guy.
But you know the right answer.
I'm a LeBron guy. I know.
But you know the right answer. Parker,
was gonna say,
I would like to talk to you
kinda
again on the
sounds like
show.
the
You know the
pineapple
right
pizza.
answer.
It sounds like the pineapple pizza answer. Like, well, people who say Jordan aren't wrong, but I prefer LeBron.
No,
Yeah,
I know I'm
well.
talking to a guy that named his kid Jordan. To be fair, like that runs.
Guilty as charged.
It comes off the tongue better than LeBron, right?
The facts,
That's the deal.
the facts stand for themselves.
Parker, thanks for hanging out with us, man.
Dude, amazing.
I know you got to
Thanks,
go.
man.
Give a shout out. Tell everybody where they can find all your stuff.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Painsworth512. That's PAINSWORTH 512. Shows FN Sports comes out a couple times a week on all your audio platforms. On Twitter, we're at FN Sports 2. We grade sports topics, grade theses and stuff like that. And it's fun times. Come check us out on Spotify, Apple, wherever. FN Sports. It's a fun time.
I love that you.
Thank you, Parker.
I love that you put Manfred in detention this week. That was,
Yes.
that was beautiful.
Hell
Thank
yes.
you for that.
Yeah.
'Cause Rob
Now,
Manfred-
before we let him off air, though, can Mike give me back full screen on him? What are the shoes that have been glowing behind you all night long over your left shoulder? Yeah.
Oh,
up
they're
there.
like reflective. Yeah.
Yeah, is that just? Are they actually glowing in the dark? Or are they just like reflected? Oh, damn! Look at that, dude.
So,
that is some solid
It's
ass
Jordan 4, but it's like reflective
Yeah.
on the back, so the light is
All right,
coming
so
down.
it wasn't glow in the dark; it was a reflective.
Yeah.
It
right.
was
just-
kind of Back to the Future-esque.
And I love
I'd just like
that
to
you
point out
have-
that he's got all sorts of Jordans back there.
Oh, he has all
you
sorts
know,
of
you're gonna
Jordans?
fuck up the answer, but I'm just saying.
But Scott, he only has some Jordans behind plastic. You know what I mean? Like, not everyone gets the plastic treatment, but they're there.
But no LeBrons on that shelf. That's all.
Yeah, no bronze on there.
Thanks so much for hanging out, man. I hope
Thanks, Parker. Appreciate you, man.
I'll
do it again.
See y'all. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, man. Take it easy. Parker Ainsworth. You can catch him at Belly Up. Go read his articles on Belly Up.
So the show isn't over yet?
It almost is. I mean,
We've got 8 minutes.
We were supposed to hate on Jeter, so let's do that real quick. Let's talk a little baseball here.
Here's the pitch. Oh, shit.
Derek Jeter stepping down as CEO of the Miami Marlins. And Scott, I think we can probably take this at the same time. You ready?
Yep. I don't know who I'm laughing harder at. The Marlins for thinking that Jeter was going to come there and turn them around, or Jeter for thinking he could turn the Marlins around. What a fucking idiot.
He's so stupid. He had a 4% stake and he was like, we've got different visions for how this is gonna go. Oh, really? Is that what it is, Jeter? You're trying to play that card that like, oh no, I think we should go this way and do.
Turns out they don't have a winning culture in Miami. Who knew?
Do you think he gave him a gift basket when he left?
There's no doubt. Actually, he left them, so I hope the Marlins gave him a gift basket. Like, we heard you like these. Here you go. Or actually, you know what? Maybe. Look, I know it was a giant abomination, but how funny would it be if the Marlins were like, hey, remember when you had us take down the home run statue in center field? Here, we're gifting it to you as you walk out the door.
I love the idea of Jeter with like the box full of his things from his office, and then he's just dragging the giant home run statue behind him in the parking lot.
How am I gonna get this fucking ham home? What? These guys are some assholes on the way out the door, man. Jesus, I don't have any place to put this.
Oh, Jeter! It felt so good after like the post in the Craft Root Sports group this week. That was like, the only player to finish with however many hits and whatever. Derek Jeter, that's the list. And I was like, ugh, this fucking compiler that played in the most protected lineup in the history of baseball and wasn't even the best shortstop on his team. Yeah, he gets hate for no reason. Okay, cool. And now he stepped down as a failed CEO of Miami Marlins. And I just love that, like, you failed.
So on his next job resume, he's either got a giant gap or he has to put failed Marlins owner. Sir, we see you've got this giant gap on your resume. Would you like to explain that? You know what? I retired. I took some time to myself. Nothing really happened. I had to find myself.
Hang on. You've got him sitting in a job interview with somebody who's like, sir, not like referring to him as Derek Jeter. They're like, sir, as I reviewed your resume here, I see okay, you spent a little time in something called the New York Yankees. Tell me about that. Have you ever had an experience with a teammate that was hard to work with while you were with the New York Yankees?
It's like, yes, my boss was impossible to work for. His name was George. Let me tell you. Oh.
I mean, George Costanza was a very demanding boss. That's a difficult spot to be in.
Mookie, are you okay, man? Like, you need some water or something? You good?
Oh no, I'm great. The thought of Derek Jeter going out in the industry and trying to find his way outside of baseball and not be attached to sports, just I don't know.
Are you concerned about his well-being? Like,
no, I just like again, I cannot comprehend being in a
wasn't able to make it as the president of the Marlins or the CEO of the Marlins. What does this man have? I just don't know.
Again, Mike, you're assuming he actually tried in those positions. Like, it was more of like a, hey, dude, can we like call you this thing and you just keep doing what you're going to do, but we can like seal off your brand? Like, how do you feel about that? And Derek was probably like, that's cool. Can I get like some soap every year from like,
But you nailed it right there. I want to
Old
see
Spice.
the follow-up story in a month where Derek Jeter's got this beard down to his knees and he's got his hands over a fire pit, and it's like from Marlins owner to underneath the bridge. Like
I
the
mean, right?
fall.
Like, here's the thing, yo. Hey, have you guys watched the Fire
Some little kid
Festival
walks
doc?
up, he's like, did you used to be Derek Jeter? And he's like, yeah, I used to be.
And then I changed my name to get away from all this shit. People ask me questions about stuff. About people, swinging on called third strikes and hard sliders and whatnot.
Life comes at you fast, kid.
It does. And then all you got to do is take your tens of hundreds of millions of dollars and run away on a yacht to an island.
I created the Athletic, and now look at me.
Right? I was wondering the other day, is he still part of that ownership group?
That actually that question came up at work. I was like, does he still have an ownership stake in the Athletic? Well, loosely, but does he have an ownership stake in it, or like did he just put his name on it and cash out? Like, what happened with that whole thing? I mean, obviously the Athletic has moved on, but I have no idea if Derek Jeter still owns part.
That's the thing. The Athletic has gotten weird, dude. Like, it's very regional and it's got high quality articles, I'm assuming, but like the cost is sky high. And you're like, well,
especially
I could either pay for this shit or I could just listen to like AM radio, which isn't fun, but it's free.
All right, let's move. So there's your.
Well, you took my buttons away, Mike. God damn it!
You put a bow very nicely on the Derek Jeter talk.
I did. I clicked on
radio. Let's talk real quick some soccer.
Wild card, bitches! Yeah!
This is my segment. We're gonna lose.
All right, man. Let's just wrap this up here. Scott, what'd you have in your cup tonight?
I had a mango milkshake IPA hyperspace from Imagination Brewing. I'd fuck the shit out of this beer. Like, I'm not gonna go into detail. Like, I do it hard.
It sounds delicious.
It really is. Like mango IPA goodness. Like the hops that they use perfectly complement the mango. You've got the lactose. Like milkshake IPAs are the IPAs that were born for me. I'm convinced. It's the only way to go with an IPA. I'll drink them all day.
Mookie, what were you drinking?
I was drinking the Pomegranate Smoothie by Dry Dock Brewing out of Aurora, Colorado. 5.2% ABV, 3.7 caps untapped, all of which is completely fucking wrong. Like, I would date this beer for the entire spring semester and really hope she wouldn't dump me once, college got out, knowing full well that's what's going to happen. And it's simply worth it. Like, she was delicious. I was happy to be included, and I'll never forget it.
All right, cool. I was drinking an Irish coffee cream stout from Woods Boss Brewing Company. This beer is delicious. And I'm not just saying that because I'm partial to Irish coffee cream stouts or Irish beers or anything Irish related. It is delicious. There's like just enough stout, like coffee stout flavor. Like sometimes coffee stouts get way too overwhelming. This one, not at all. This one is hands down one of the best coffee stouts I've ever had. I would bang the shit out of this beer. So that's what I would do. Next week, I'm not going to be here St. Patrick's Day week, boys. So I'm breaking out a big can next week of an Irish beer.
It's fine because you're going to be at spring
week?
training games next week, which was always the plan. So enjoy spring training. In fact, we'll do a corresponding piece with you from spring training.
That's a good idea. I'll chime in and just be like, here we are at spring training where nothing's happening because the MLB owners are a bunch of cucks.
You can see behind me this empty parking lot. It's really rainy.
I have so many questions, but I'm going to lead with Mike. Do you at least have a hot tub at your Airbnb?
No.
Oh. Are you leaving your kids behind?
Also, no.
Wow. Well,
the answer to that is always no. I'm here to tell you.
I hear they make some really pretty turquoise jewelry shit out there. So, maybe you can curate favor with the lady friend.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let's give a special shout out to our guest tonight, Parker Ainsworth. Be sure to hit him up on Twitter and read all of his stuff over at bellyupsports.com. There's tons of good stuff at bellyupsports.com, so go support them and all of the podcasts that are on the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. Subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, wherever. We're there. All the Belly Up Sports podcasts are there. So go subscribe, rate, and review, and support them. Be sure to follow us at Craft Sports on Twitter and Instagram. Throw the show a like on Facebook. We're still there. We're old guys. And be sure to subscribe to YouTube. We got some plans coming up on what we're going to do to build up that YouTube channel a little bit more. I know we've been talking about it for a while, but we've got some really good stuff planned and in the pipeline. Scott's going to be bringing his haters guide to the YouTube channel. Mookie's going to be doing some bets over there. I've got a special interview that I'm going to be doing with a guy that's walking across the country, people. So go subscribe to the YouTube channel, click that bell so that you know when we post new stuff, when we go live. We will see you all next week. Cheers, everybody.
I hate you, Manfred.
Feel like poop right now.
I feel good, real good.